Hey, how's it going? My name is Daniel Calderon and welcome back to Corner Talks. The decade of your 20s, a time when people look forward to coming out of their teenage years, looking forward to becoming an adult, only to learn that it is not so easy to make that transition. A lot of us, including myself, who are in their 20s, look at life very differently as to when we were a child. Not to say that we become cynical, not to say that we don't have hopes and dreams anymore, but we start to realize the realities of life, whether that be heartbreak, whether that be job loss, whether that be financial struggle. And through the course of your 20s, this is a time to really get in touch with who you are, discover new abilities, new skills, and really adapt to the modern world, adapt to what's outside beyond school. Because so much of us, when we were getting raised by our parents or, growing up in our small communities, wherever have you, we were taught or we felt as if the world was small. And when we reach our 20s, we realize the world is much larger and there is just so much more abundance and opportunity if we choose to seize it. So navigating your 20s, it can be challenging, it can be turbulent, and sometimes it can downright suck. But I still believe that when you go through your 20s, this is just the start of a long and prosperous life. So having said that, as a 26-year-old, these are the lessons in my 20s so far. In light of the pandemic, we haven't been doing much traveling. And if you were lucky enough to travel, I bet you it was for essential reasons, or you were able to sneak out, or just brave enough to handle whatever was out there. But for most of us, we've been cooped up in our homes. We've been kind of struggling to, sit with our thoughts. And it's been an interesting time that way with regards to traveling. We weren't able to kind of explore what's beyond our four walls, our house. And, traveling is an interesting subject because a lot of people, a lot of millennials especially, talk about the importance of it, talk about the glory of it. They romanticize going away, going with friends, and just seeing the world in a different perspective, trying new foods, experiencing new cultures, navigating unfamiliar terrain, really, right? Like just going to places that they've never even seen or heard of before. But from my perspective, travel is best enjoyed when it's on your own. And let me get to my point. Don't get me wrong, I enjoy going with my friends, my family. I enjoy, having these experiences with someone else. There's nothing greater in the world than watching, like, say, a sunset or seeing a beautiful piece of architecture or eating a delicious piece of food, and you turn to the person next to you and you enjoy that experience. You create that memory together. However, my experiences of going alone to certain places, specifically California a couple of years ago, was something entirely different. It's in a way indescribable. There's many times when you're obviously feeling like alone because you want to, like I said, turn to the person next to you and you want to say, wow, this is an amazing boulevard. Like, look at what's going on with these cars and, the skaters and all that, whatever have you, with the sunsets. But at the same time, I rediscovered who I was as a person. I reflected on my passions. I reflected on my dreams. Being a filmmaker, it was important to have that escape, to go to California and really be in touch with my thoughts and my emotions. Going to California by myself benefited me as opposed to going with another person. And the reason why is because it would have been a 50-50 trip. It would have been 50% attention over here and 50% attention over there. But when you go on your own, you're all in. It's just you and the destination you're at. And I just feel like there's just something memorable about that experience, or something powerful that kind of sits with you for the rest of your life. And it did for me. Not only was I able to create content, expand my portfolio from the shots I got because I brought my camera, my Sony A7 III, I was able to connect with people on a different level because it was just me and them. I was able to understand and be present in the moment. I wasn't worried about who I was with or if I was taking too much time away from our trip. It was just being about you. And it might come across very selfish, but we live in an age where we're so consumed by hanging out with people and we need to be around people and we always need to be busy, that once in a while, it doesn't hurt to just kind of slow everything down and be comfortable with who you are and explore the world, if need be, by yourself. Networking is a concept that I, honest to God, wish I learned much earlier. And it's like with anything in life, it's a work in progress. I'm not perfect at it, and you can't really beat yourself up. But since I was a child, I never really was told about networking, the power of it, the art of it, I should say, because it's definitely a skill set you need to have. It's something that you need to kind of build upon. It's not really something you're born with. And even if you are, you still need to like chip away at it. But it was only until recently, probably when I graduated university, that I started to feel the magnitude of networking and the ripple effect it would cause if you didn't know your skill sets. What I'm getting at is, I was taught my whole life, you go to university, you study, you do the best you can, and then you graduate. But, and you find yourself a job, you're set. It didn't really plan out that way. I had some jobs, don't get me wrong. Maybe it's a combination of discovering who you are, and maybe I had to change my course in life. But I do know for a fact that my networking skills, the fact that I lacked a lot of them when I was much younger, hurt me, because a lot of people that I talk to, when I realize they get positions or roles in companies, they get job offers, it's not because they have the most spectacular resume. It's not because they put in so many hours or all the hard work. Not to detract from their efforts. I'm just saying is that we can all agree we live in a world where it's who you know, not what you know. And that was an expression, that was like a tagline, a slogan, whatever have you, that people would say. And you kind of just said, yeah, they say it all the time, whatever. But it never really hit hard until I was reaching my mid-20s, probably around this time, being 26. And you just see that, and it's not even with marketing. It's not even with what I studied in university. It's with film, right? I didn't go to film school, and my networking skills had to be top notch in order to connect with people that are in the industry, to show them that I can bring value to their projects. And it's been working out in my favor for sure. I'm grateful for all the opportunities, but it was not easy for me. And if I can advise you for one thing is, if you're in your 20s or you're beginning your 20s or you're still in them, take advantage of those networking tools, take advantage of those networking events, get out there, expose yourself, get social media, use it as a platform for you to connect with like-minded individuals, people in the industry. A recommendation I would have for networking is to make it fun. Don't look at it as a chore or something, a necessity. You have to get a job, because it's gonna feel like a job in itself. Think of it as something that is benefiting you, like drinking water every day, right? That it replenishes your thirst and keeps you hydrated, keeps your body healthy. Look at it as something that will keep you healthy in life, not now, but forever, long term. So what I'm getting at is Corner Talks podcast. Why did I create this podcast? Well, I enjoy talking to people. I enjoy using it as a creative outlet because I can talk about any subject I want, but it is a networking tool. It is an opportunity for me to connect and converse with like-minded individuals, colleagues, potential clients, because I want to show not only the people that are watching, but the people that are on the podcast, what that kind of open dialogue means, what it means to get to know someone, what it means to figure out their journey, what kind of struggles they went through, what you can learn from them. That's networking in itself. It's not so much, oh, can he get me a job in the end? It's more about understanding who the person is, where they're coming from, and bringing value not only to them, but for yourself, right? So you can take it on your next project, or whether it's for your business or whether it's for your education. So I really do believe that with networking, it's a very powerful tool. Don't look at it as a chore. Don't look at it as a job. I did that for many years. It's not that way. It should be fun and exciting. It's not going to be easy. No one's perfect at it, but you will. If you have that will, there will be a way. And if you keep chipping away at it, if you keep persistent, you'll find yourself benefiting in the long run. Separate journeys. What do I mean by this? Well, in your 20s, there's a lot going on. A lot of people you grew up with, a lot of people that you're either colleagues with, they are going through their own lives. They're going through their own paths, and everyone has a different trajectory. But you naturally, I'm sure many of you watching this have gone through this. It's only natural, it's only human, where at the back of your head, you're saying, am I behind or am I ahead in life? Where am I exactly? And this is interesting because I have a big smile on my face, because it's a back and forth. It's your 20s. This is a time to explore. This is a time to take risks and fall flat on your face, pick yourself up. But with social media, it doesn't help. You see the highlight reel. You see, everything is looking polished, content that makes everybody look in their greatest form, their greatest life. But at the end of the day, it's not real, right? It's not authentic. And I know it's hammered into our heads that don't look at it, it's not real, it's not this. But a lot of us are prone, a lot of us do have a tendency to, maybe think, oh, maybe the grass is greener on the other side. But I'm here to tell you is that's why I say separate journeys. No one is going to live the same life you are. You're not going to live the same life they are. You don't want to live the same life they are living. And the reason why I say that is because all the different challenges, all the different experiences you kind of go through, the milestones are catered to your life. They're catered to how much effort you put in, where you are, and what you can handle at that point in your life. And you don't want to, take on the stresses and struggles of everyone else. I always joke around, like, if you want to take a step back and understand, comprehend what comparison is it's basically you're asking for that person's life, because you're not just taking their qualities, you're not just taking their talent. You have to take everything they went through. You have to take all their experiences, maybe the family, the friends, the toxicity, who knows what's around them. But it's easy to say, yeah, I'd like that life, but it's hard to actually accept it. So with regards to separate journeys, my advice is you're going to see it a lot. You're going to see people getting married. You're going to see people having kids. You're going to see people getting promoted or getting cool jobs. But you have to focus on your path, and you have to understand that it's not a race, it's not a rush. I know society tells us by a certain age you need to be at a certain point, and they're absolutely right. You can't be focused on something forever. You have to change it up, you have to pivot. But at the same time, if you know you're putting all your effort and energy into something that you believe in, if you really desire to make this dream, this business come true, you have to see it through. You have to stick with it. And you can't deter because of what you see on Instagram or because of what other people tell you how to live their life, right? Again, separate journeys. Everybody has a different direction, a different trajectory in life. And I hope and pray that you will find yours. I hope and pray that you will stick with yours, because there is nothing more unique and special than the one you are on right now. So this has to be my favorite one, because I'm always an advocate of it, whether it's on my podcast, my vlogs, talking amongst people on set. I'm always telling people, like, we got to take chances, we got to take risks. This harkens back to the fact that I'm a filmmaker, I'm very creative, and that's what it is. We're always taking risks as creative people, right? We don't know if something's going to stick or something's going to work, but we've put it out there in the world, and the market, as Gary Vee would say, decides what they'll make out of it. But when I say take chances, I mean take chances on your life, take chances on your ambition, take chances on what you see yourself doing, your goals. Too many of us, we get locked up in our jobs, we get comfortable, we get complacent, and it kills us. We don't realize that now, but you forget that life is very long. In 10, 20 years, are you going to be enjoying what you're doing right now? Hey, if you're comfortable, if you're enjoying life, by all means, stick with it. But I'm speaking to the people that are really struggling out there, that they hate their job, they're miserable, and they want to get out of it. Now, everyone has different financial reasons and struggles and concerns, of course. I don't want to come across like I'm telling you, quit your job, like don't worry about your bills, they'll figure it out. Because I'm in a privileged situation where I was able to quit my job and give myself the time to figure out my path. If you are in that situation where you have some savings, if you are in that situation where you wanted to invest in something and you have a bit of money, like I said, saved up, or you want to just take a risk, right? Whether it's starting a business, whether it's collaborating with someone in the arts, or whether it's taking on a new role at a company or a new job altogether in a different industry, right? Going from maybe accounting to marketing, or going from marketing to HR. Do it. This is the time. Unless you have kids, or unless you have like a large family, dependencies, yes, that could be something you need to assess. But if that's not the case, you gotta get up, you gotta get angry, and you gotta get busy. You gotta take those chances. You gotta do something that's gonna spark a fire in you every day, that's gonna get you motivated. I'm not saying every day is gonna be perfect. Believe me, I'm in those situations where I'm trying to figure it all out as well. But at the same time, if you're like me, I was working a dead-end sales job, I wasn't happy, I was miserable every day, and I was consumed by it. I was working more than 40 hours a week, and I was never able to tap into my filmmaking passion. But I decided to leave because I had enough savings, I had enough time, and I said to myself, you know what, I'm gonna give myself a year, maybe even more, and just to see where this path goes. Now, I'm not making millions of dollars, I'm not Quentin Tarantino, but I've made much more progress than I have when I was at that job, and even before then. So it's just all about believing in who you are, trusting yourself really, that you can make those decisions. And if you fall and if you fail, don't worry about it. You had the bravery to do it. You got it out of your system, because I promise you there's nothing worse in life than going through it, feeling that regret, feeling that misery, like I should have pulled it off. I should have done it. I should have committed my mind to it. Thanks again for joining me on another Corner Talks. I really hope you enjoyed my discussion on my lessons from my 20s so far. This has been a lot of fun to discuss this subject because I know it's something that's on everyone's minds, especially people my age, you know, the millennials. Our 20s are a very turbulent time. We don't know exactly what tomorrow's gonna bring, especially if you're in the arts. And if you have it all figured out, great for you. I'm really happy for you. But for the rest of us, you know, sometimes it's not as predictable. Sometimes it's not as pleasant. But we keep going, you know, we keep our head up high and we believe things will get better. You know, we believe that whatever comes our way, we're doing what we love and we're making the most of it. And I think that's so important. You should never look at your 20s as something that it's just another chapter in your life, another decade. This is a really cool time. This is an opportunistic time to create a life for yourself, to create something that will last for a very long time. So if you have that passion, if you have that dream, you have that business in mind, I encourage you, please take it up for yourself. You know, sit yourself down, reflect on your thoughts and see how you can navigate it. It doesn't have to, you know, be successful. It doesn't have to be a multi-million-dollar company, but chip away at it. See what you can do in the meantime while you work your other job. See what you can do to get to that point. Because again, get it out of your system, take those chances, and you'll be happy that you did. If you agree or disagree to the lessons from your 20s, please leave your comments down below. I always love to see your thoughts. Also, if you enjoyed this video, please be sure to like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Take care, we'll talk soon.